now.
Yes,
It's
this is
part
history.
of our history. So,
In 1923, the Cape Conference, which, remember, included the Cape Colony and the Orange Free State, they established a department, a colored department of the Cape Conference. And then 10 years later, in 1933, they then established a Cape Colored Mission, which later became the Cape Field. In 1936, the South Bantu Mission Field was established. The South Bantu Field dealt with the African people in the Cape Conference territory. And in 1959, the Cape Field, which remember, it had been the Cape Colored Field, then became the Cape Field, and in 1959, it became the Gurup Conference. In 1969, the part in the Northern Cape, which had been part of the Cape Conference and the South Bantu Field, was then organized into the Tswana Field. That is what is currently the Northern Cape. In 1963, the Cape Eastern Field, Cape Western Field were established. This is what is currently the Western Cape and the Eastern Cape. They were standalone fields at some point. 1965, 1969, we then had the Cape Field, which put together those different fields within the Cape. In 1984, the Southern Conference was established, and at that point, we had the Southern Conference, we had the Gurup Conference, and we had the Cape Conference. These were the three conferences that were operational in the Cape Conference territory. In 1997, the Southern Conference and the Gurup Conference came together to form the Southern Hope Conference. And in 2006, the Southern Hope Conference and the Cape Conference came together to form the current Cape Conference.